Listen to me. You don't need a new job, you need a new mindset. You don't need better circumstances, you need better beliefs. You don't need more motivation, you need more discipline to guard your mind like your future depends on it. Because it does. Let me ask you something. You will never win in life until you conquer the war in your mind. You lose in your thoughts before you ever lose in real life. This keynote speaks to a truth that's often ignored. The most important battlefield in your life is not external, it's internal. The real fight isn't happening in your circumstances, your bank account, or your environment. It's happening in your head. Every doubt you entertain, every fear you feed, every excuse you make, it's all a battle of the mind. And the painful reality is that most people lose that battle long before life ever throws the first punch. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of an opportunity? How often have you quit before you even started because you believed you weren't good enough, smart enough, or ready enough? That's not life holding you back. That's your mind doing the damage. That's your thoughts building walls around your potential. You can't build a victorious life when your thoughts are rooted in defeat. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't usually talent. It's not even resources. It's the ability to master their mindset. Champions win because they train their minds for battle. They expect resistance. They expect struggle, but they program their minds to keep pushing forward no matter what. It's not that they don't hear the voice of fear or doubt. They just refuse to obey it. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you build in your life. If that foundation is cracked with insecurity, negativity, or limiting beliefs, then no matter how hard you try, your life will crumble under pressure. But if you start from a mindset of belief, resilience, and clarity of vision, nothing can stop you. The strongest walls are built brick by brick. In the same way, a strong mind is built thought by thought. Every time you choose courage over fear, every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're winning another battle. You may be going through hell right now. Life might be throwing every obstacle in your way, but I promise you this, if you win the battle in your mind, you can endure and overcome anything in your life. Pain, failure, disappointment, none of it is permanent unless you allow it to live rent-free in your head. Victory doesn't begin when you cross the finish line. It begins the moment you say, I will not quit. It begins the moment you choose to believe in yourself, even when the world doesn't. It starts when you stop listening to that inner voice that says, I can't, and replace it with one that says, I will. So the next time you find yourself ready to give up, stop and ask, is it life beating me, or am I losing the fight inside my mind? Because when you finally conquer that internal war, there is nothing in the external world that can defeat you. Victory starts in your mind. Win there first. It's not your situation that's stopping you, it's your interpretation. Shift your mindset and the same struggle becomes your strength. This keynote cuts to the heart of why so many people stay stuck. It's not that their situation is impossible, it's that they've already decided in their minds that they can't win. The truth is, your situation does not define your limits, your interpretation of it does. Two people can go through the exact same struggle and come out with completely different outcomes. One grows, one gives up. One uses the pain as fuel, the other uses it as an excuse. The difference? Mindset. Most people look at their struggles and see walls. They see dead ends. They see obstacles that signal stop. But someone with a powerful mindset sees those same walls as something to climb. They see opportunity in adversity. They don't say, why me? They say, try me. That shift in thinking doesn't make life easier, but it does make it winnable. Because when your mind is aligned with your purpose, your problems don't paralyze you, they prepare you. Think about how often people blame their circumstances for where they are in life. I didn't have support. I grew up poor. I didn't go to the right school. But for every excuse, There's someone out there with the same situation who made it anyway. Why? Because they didn't see their circumstances as a ceiling, they saw them as a setup. They didn't say, I can't, because of where they came from. They said, I must because of where they're going. Here's the reality. Life doesn't always change right away, but your perspective can change in an instant. That's power. That's freedom. When you learn to shift your mindset, nothing outside of you has the power to control what happens inside of you. And once your inner world is strong, your outer world starts to shift. Struggles are guaranteed. Setbacks are part of the process. But how you interpret them will determine if they break you or build you. If you look at pain as punishment, you'll resent it. If you look at it as preparation, you'll grow from it. That's the shift. And it's that shift that turns survivors into leaders and victims into victors. The problem isn't that you're in a storm. The problem is you think the storm is bigger than you. But when you shift your mindset, you realize you are the storm. You realize you're not buried, you're planted. And the same dirt you thought was holding you down is the same dirt you needed to grow roots. So the next time you face a tough situation, ask yourself, what am I choosing to believe about this? Because your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior shapes your results. Don't wait for life to get easier. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Change your mindset, and you'll change how you move. Shift your mind, and you'll shift your whole life. Garbage in, garbage out. Feed your mind greatness, and greatness will show up in your grind. Your mind is the control center for your entire life. Every choice you make, every habit you form, every dream you chase, it all begins with what you allow into your mind. If you're constantly feeding your brain negativity, distractions, fear, and doubt, you can't expect to live a focused, courageous, and successful life. Just like your body becomes what you eat, your life becomes what you mentally consume. Garbage in, garbage out. It's that simple and that serious. Too many people are starving their minds of greatness and feeding themselves junk all day long. You scroll through social media for hours comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel. You binge shows that glorify failure, betrayal, and chaos. You surround yourself with people who complain, who gossip, who doubt. Then you wonder why you're tired, uninspired, and stuck. It's because what you're putting in is weak, and what you put in is exactly what's going to come out when pressure hits. You can't expect to operate at a championship level with a toxic mental diet. You can't expect to think like a winner if you're feeding your mind with thoughts and influences that scream, you're not enough. But here's the good news. You have control. You choose what goes in. You decide what content you consume, what voices you listen to, what people you spend time with, and what thoughts you let sit in your head. Feeding your mind greatness means being intentional. It means choosing to read books that stretch your thinking. It means listening to messages that fire up your spirit. It means cutting off conversations that drain you and engaging with people who challenge you to grow. It means filling your mornings with gratitude instead of gossip. It means guarding your peace like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. Greatness isn't something you stumble into by accident. It's the result of consistently fueling yourself with thoughts, words, and habits that align with where you want to go. You want to be excellent, then consume excellence. Study excellence. Speak excellence. Surround yourself with it. Because when greatness is what you're feeding your mind, excellence becomes your natural output. You can't pour out what you haven't poured in. When life squeezes you, and it will, you will only produce what's been planted inside you. If you've been feeding your mind fear, fear is what will come out. But if you've been feeding it faith, strength, and clarity, then even in chaos, you'll stand tall. Your grind will reflect your mind. So if you want to level up your performance, start by leveling up your input. Get serious about what you allow into your mental space. Discipline your focus. Starve the distractions and feed your mind with so much greatness that when life presses you, greatness is all that comes out. Before they got the title, they had the mindset. Before the spotlight, they had the self-talk. Winners win because they believe they were born to. Success doesn't begin with achievement, it begins with belief. Long before the trophies, the applause, or the recognition, every champion was already winning in their mind. They didn't wait for the world to approve of them before they started moving like winners. They had the mindset of a champion before they ever stepped onto the stage, onto the court, or into the spotlight. That's the difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck. The world teaches us to wait until you have the position. Wait until people believe in you. Wait until the opportunity shows up. But winners don't wait. Winners act like winners long before anyone calls them that. It's internal. It's belief. It's knowing deep down that you were built for more, even when your current life doesn't reflect it yet. And a huge part of that comes down to self-talk. Champions speak life into themselves, even when the world is silent. They say, I've got this, when no one's clapping. They say, I'm not giving up, when the results aren't there. They say, I was born for this, even while it's still grinding in the dark. That internal dialogue, that's the foundation of their success. Because how you talk to yourself determines how you show up. Most people want to feel confident before they act, but it's the opposite. You act your way into confidence by showing up, by doing the work, by affirming your identity, even when no one else sees it. The mindset comes first, the behavior follows, and the results come last. Too many people want to skip to the last step. They want to win without the belief system, without the consistency, without the grind. Every person you admire, whether it's an athlete, entrepreneur, artist, or leader, they didn't just stumble into greatness. They had a mindset that made them dangerous before the world even knew their name. While others were sleeping, they were preparing. While others were doubting, they were declaring. They weren't just hoping for success, they expected it. And that expectation shaped every move they made. That's what separates average from elite. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's belief. Belief that you have a purpose, belief that you have value, belief that you can build something out of nothing. And when that belief becomes your standard, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says today, you're already a winner. So the real question is, do you believe in yourself when no one else does? Do you talk to yourself like a champion before the crowd shows up? Because if you do, the wins will come. The spotlight will come, but the mindset, that has to come first. If you don't see yourself as a winner, don't expect anyone else to. Winners win because they believe they were born to. And that belief is where the real victory begins. If your thinking is small, your life will be small. Upgrade your thoughts. Because your life can't go further than your mindset. Everything you want in life, every dream, every goal, every level of success starts in one place. Your thinking. Your thoughts are the foundation of your reality. They shape your choices, your actions, your habits, and ultimately your results. That's why this keynote is so important. Your life cannot grow beyond the limits of your mind. If you think small, you live small. If you think big, you live bold. The problem is, most people were trained to think small. Maybe someone told you to be realistic. Maybe you were told you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not qualified. Over time, that conditioning becomes your internal voice. It becomes the ceiling in your mind. You stop aiming high because you don't believe it's possible. And when your thoughts are limited, your potential stays locked away. But here's the truth. Your circumstances aren't the real limitation. Your thinking is. You can have all the talent in the world, but if your mind says, I'll never make it, then you won't. You can have the opportunity, the connections, and the resources, but if your mind says, I don't deserve this, you'll sabotage it. You'll talk yourself out of the very blessing you prayed for. Why? Because your mind wasn't ready to receive what life was trying to give you. That's why upgrading your thoughts is non-negotiable. You can't keep thinking at the same level and expect your life to level up. You have to stretch your thinking. You have to challenge the beliefs you've been holding on to. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me grow or keeping me stuck? If it's not lifting you, it's limiting you. When you upgrade your thinking, your vision expands. You stop settling. You stop playing it safe. You stop tolerating average. Instead of saying, I can't, you start asking, how can I? Instead of saying, that's impossible, you say, with work, it's possible. That mindset shift changes how you show up. It changes how you work. It changes what you're willing to fight for. Small thinking makes you afraid to take risks. It keeps you worried about failure. But big thinking gives you permission to dream, to act boldly, and to step into rooms you used to think you didn't belong in. Your mindset is the gatekeeper to your future. If it's small, it will block you. If it's strong and expanded, it will elevate you. So don't just chase success. Success, train your mind for it. Speak to yourself differently. Surround yourself with people who think bigger. Read things that stretch your perspective. Feed your faith, not your fear. Because until your mind believes it, your life can't achieve it. The bottom line is this: if you want more, think more. Think better. Think bigger. Your future depends on it. You don't just wake up successful. You wake up and decide to be victorious. Every day, no matter how you feel, no matter what you see. Success isn't random. It's not magic. It doesn't fall in your lap just because you want it. Success is the result of decisions, daily decisions. Every single morning you get a choice. Will I show up like a winner today, or will I shrink back into comfort? Will I move with purpose, or will I let my emotions run the day? The truth is, victory isn't something that happens once and lasts forever. It's something you decide on over and over again, especially when you don't feel like it. And when you do, this is where most people get it wrong. They think motivation is the key. They wait for inspiration to strike before they move. But champions don't wait to feel good. They choose to do good. They don't wait to be ready. They decide to be relentless. That's the mindset it takes. Because there are going to be days when you're tired, when nothing is working, when the world feels like it's against you. On those days, your feelings will try to talk you out of your purpose. But winners don't listen to feelings. They obey the decision they already made. You don't become successful because you had one good day. You become successful because you chose to keep showing up through hundreds of difficult days. That's what separates people who win from people who wish. One group hopes it will happen. The other group makes it happen by deciding to show up no matter the weather, no matter the results, no matter the resistance. Victory is a lifestyle. It's not based on emotions. It's based on commitment. You don't just decide once and coast. You recommit every single day. You wake up and say, no matter what comes my way today, I will give my best. That's how momentum builds. That's how habits form. And that's how greatness becomes reality. Not in one big leap, but in 1,000 small choices made with consistency and courage. Look at anyone who's truly successful and you'll see the same thing. Discipline, drive, decisions. They made a habit of waking up with intention. They made a habit of showing up even when they were invisible. They didn't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They took imperfect action with perfect faith. And you can do the same. You don't need to wait until you feel like a winner to act like one. You act like one and the feelings will follow. You move first. You lead yourself. That's what it means to live victorious. So tomorrow morning and every morning after, don't just wake up and go through the motions. Wake up and decide. Decide to speak life. Decide to move with purpose. Decide to win in your mind and your actions, no matter what the scoreboard says. Because the truth is simple. Success doesn't happen to you. It happens because of you. One decision at a time.